morning. It's Monday, April 15th. It's tax day, so I hope you got your taxes all in or you're working on it. Thanks for joining us on Up to the Minute. We are bringing you all the news and announcements and events along with a couple of special guests. I'm Dr. Amy Tan, Dean of Dean of Houston Community College's English and Communications, and I'm joined by Dr. Nicholas Cox from the History Department. How's it going today, Nick?
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you again. We missed you last Monday.
Oh, thanks. I got to go on a little trip to see the eclipse.
Did you get to see the whole totality, as my son called it?
That's right. The whole totality. We did. We just got so lucky. We were in Corsicana and there were some clouds, but they moved away right before it all started. And it was really amazing. I'm really glad that my daughter and I made that little trip to see that. Did you
Oh,
get to
great.
see any of it?
My parents took my son to East Texas to do some bass fishing over the weekend, and they stayed on Monday near Longview, up not far from Lake Fork. And so my son did get to see the entire eclipse pass by. I was here, though, at WHI, and we had a little viewing party in the parking lot downstairs with safety glasses and about, I don't know, 60 to 80 students. It was a lot of fun. Very cloudy,
Yeah.
very few opportunities to see the eclipse in a cloud break, but we did spend some time out there. It was fun, a lot of fun.
I'm so glad you did that. I just think it was, how maybe a once in a lifetime opportunity. So it was a very cool thing to see that. Even I mean, like I remember when we got to see the partial, and that was exciting too. What was that, 5 years ago now?
Yeah, I think that's right. Maybe 2015 or 16, actually, maybe a
Yep.
little longer.
Yep.
Um, I was up
Well,
at Baylor 2 Octobers ago, I think it was. There was a partial one as well when I was
yeah,
in maybe last
that's
year,
so
2 years ago.
cool. Just a cool event. Well, Nick, we are live on HCCTV whenever HCC is in session. How can people find us?
Yeah, you're right. We are live on the Houston Community College District's Facebook page. We're on YouTube. We're also on X, LinkedIn, and HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Excellent. Thank you for that. For Mental Health Monday, we have a local nonprofit returning to discuss Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I'm happy to introduce Jessica Bellant, Education and Prevention Director for the Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Welcome to the show, Jessica.
Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Just hang on one second, and Dr. Cox will be right with you to hear more about the Sexual Assault Awareness Month from you. Thank you.
Perfect.
First, we're hosting a member of the Chancellor's new campaign that launched recently at the Student Success Summit, which I was lucky enough to attend. So welcome Linda Davis, Office Manager for College Operations at HCC Northeast and the Executive Co-Chair of the HCC We Care campaign. Thanks for being here for the first time with us, Linda.
I'm so glad to be a part. This is so neat. Thank you guys for having me.
We're thrilled to have your energy and enthusiasm with us this Monday morning. And we're eager to hear all about your journey from student to staff, as well as the new campaign. Why don't we start with that? Tell us how you ended up as an HCC student.
Well, the recession hit, and I, like many of Americans, was displaced and trying to find work, but all I could find was underemployment because I did not have a degree. So I went to my mailbox one day, and there was a flyer announcing HCC classes at the middle school. And I said, at the middle school? And I went. And from there, I went to work study. I became a student. Yes. Then I
Yay.
went into the work study program. I was grateful to be able to find employment through work study, 19 and a half hours, and go to school. Then I went permanent part-time in financial aid. And then a year or so later, they offered me a full-time opportunity at district where I served for 3.5 years. Then at that point, it was 2018. And I heard there was an opening at the North Forest campus that was being renovated. And I got a chance to go home like Dorothy. I clicked my heels 3 times and went back to North Forest, no longer as a student, but as the administrative assistant to Mr. Michael Frazier.
Oh, it's
So I
such
helped him through the construction of all of that. And now we have a beautiful campus as of 2018, and we offer plenty classes there and workforce programs as well. So It's a beautiful campus and it's a great part of my journey.
It's a beautiful story. And just, you are one of our official student success stories. And this is the story that we love to hear and we love to tell. One of our students who came back and is working in a position that is meaningful to you and to our community. So tell us a little bit more about being one of the official student success stories. How was that? What was that like?
HCC truly changed the trajectory of my life. Once I got to the campus, someone heard of my story and they wanted me to share it at the convocation. So at the fall convocation in 2018, I was honored to be on stage to tell my story and how things were working out for me as an alumni. And it was so wonderful. I felt so special. I even went in the green room. I didn't even know they had green rooms, but it was really nice to feel special and to acknowledge what HCC had given to me and I could give back to others.
And you mentioned that you were part of the renovation, that you got to be involved in building out that campus.
Yes, it is so beautiful now. And I feel like I have my signature mark on there.
Well, and I imagine your experience as a student informed a lot of what you were bringing to the conversation and the development.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was able to finish that chapter, and then it was time for Dorothy to move on. So I moved into my current role where I'm the COO's Miss Tammy Perry here in Northeast. I'm her office manager, which I had a chance to work with her before as an administrative assistant, but now I'm officially her COO. And so I'm learning things at a new level. So my journey continues. But what I'm most excited about is we care.
You're just the best guest. You're just queuing up all the questions.
Oh, well, I just want to get to that part. I don't want to, that's the most important. Well, that is one of the most exciting parts right now.
That's right. Well, and we're ready to talk about it. So tell us more about We Care and your role in it.
Well, I was actually nominated to be a part of this this group. And we met and we came up with some ideas how we can enhance our care. Because it's not that we're not caring in HCC, but we can do more in our care department. So we had a group of us, about 200 people maybe, to come and from different areas. And like I said, I was nominated and I was really surprised, but I was nominated by Dr. Holden to be a part of this. And I was going like, what? He said when they gave the criteria, he said, you were the first person I thought about. Well, he remembered me because I had done some coffee breaks with Dr. Humphrey, previous president here. And she would let me do 5 minutes of fun. And we would always do something different. So from there, he said, that's the person. So I was a part of this group, the study group, and we were able to bring some ideas and suggestions. And from that group, they wanted to have the work to continue. So I was honored to be a part of the executive chair team that is continuing the work, which you guys will get a chance to see really soon. Outside of the skit that you saw already, you'll get to see more of us and what we plan to do with We Care and how the Chancellor sees it not as a start and stop. This is something that's going to change our culture and the fabric of it. So it's like changing the tapestry of our culture.
Absolutely.
5 disciplines.
Yes, a big culture change. And I got to see the launch of it at the Student Success Summit. So I got to see the flash mob and the skits. Tell us more about the campaign itself. So there are 5 principles.
Right. And the first one is the 10-foot rule. And that's whenever you come in contact with a student or a guest on campus within 10 feet, you say hello. How can I help you? Which we didn't do in the skit, but this is what we should be doing every day. And then the second principle is name tags. Well, you can't see it, but I'm wearing my ID badge. But we're going to have, yes, everyone should be wearing their identifiers because we want our guests and students to know who we are and that we're there to help them. And then we have the cross-department awareness. And this is where my heart beats because as the Northeast Region's co-chair for the cross-department awareness piece, my co-chair, Angela Comier, and I are charged with getting cross-department awareness out across the college. So we want everyone to know a little bit about what everyone does, so that when a student comes in needing help or directives, we can get that person to the proper place at the right time. We don't want to send them on what they call the HCC shuffle. You know, I like the shuffle, I like the dance, but I don't like shuffling students around.
No,
So
we
want to
want
make
them
sure
to
students
feel like we know where they should go and get the information they need.
right away. And what we find is when students get frustrated, they leave, and we don't want that. So we want to make sure that everybody knows enough to help the student get to where they need to go. And then we have warm welcome. So in part of getting students to where they need to go, we want to take them to the place, maybe walk them over if we have time to the office, or call ahead and give a little bit of information about what the student needs, so that the student, when they get there, they're not reciting the same things over and over again. They're actually being picked up from that point and helped. And then we have welcome. And this is where we have welcome students. And we have a big welcome week that we're planning. And we're going to have it continue not just during welcome week, but throughout the semesters. So students don't feel like the rah-rah to begin and then they're just dropped. They're going to feel continued to be cared for every day and in every way. And that's the mission of We Care.
Well, it's a wonderful campaign, and I know that you're leading this effort, and there's a lot of people involved. And I want to thank you for joining us today and sharing this information with us.
Well, thank you so much. And remember, We Care is coming
We
to
care.
you real soon. So
Okay.
we care.
We care. Thank you
We
so
care.
much, Linda Davis, Office Manager for College Operations at HCC Northeast and Executive Co-Chair of the HCC We Care campaign. We're going to have all the information in our post after the show. Take care, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right, moving on to Dr. Cox.
Thank you, guys. It's great to hear about this Caring Campus initiative. Let me welcome Ms. Jessica Bellant to the show. I think you're a returning guest, and I understand you're going to become a regular Mental Health Monday guest in the oncoming months. Is that right?
Yes, I'm very excited about this. I'm happy to be here again.
All right. Well, congratulations on that, and I look forward to seeing you again. We want to talk to you a little bit about a couple of things. First, April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Can you tell us why we have a month dedicated to sexual awareness? Sexual assault awareness is such a serious topic. Seems like a good idea.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. Yes, so unfortunately, we know that still far too many people experience this form of violence. We know that today, every 68 seconds, someone in our country is sexually assaulted. We also know that young people ages 16 to 34 disproportionately experience sexual violence. So for this conversation to be happening on college campuses is absolutely critical. We want to highlight sexual violence because too many people are experiencing it. We need more people talking about it. It's highly stigmatized in our society. And in order to prevent and really reduce the rates of sexual violence, more people need to be having conversations, releasing the stigma and shame about sexual assault.
Well, one of the things I understand during April is an event called Denim Day. Can you tell me what is Denim Day and what's its significance to Sexual Assault Awareness and Prevention Month?
Yes, so Denim Day is a day that really looks at how do we challenge victim blaming, which is a long-standing attitude, social norm across the globe, not just in our society, that really prevents survivors from coming forward when they are sexually assaulted. So Denim Day is rooted in an event that happened in the early 90s. So 1992, an 18-year-old was forcibly raped by her driving instructor in Rome when she was trying to get her driver's license. She did report. He was charged and arrested and sentenced to jail. But then several years later, he went through an appeal process and said that because she was wearing tight denim jeans, she had to have helped remove those jeans, and it was deemed consensual, and the conviction was overturned, and that individual was released from jail. And after that point, in response, all of the women in the Italian parliament then wore jeans to work, to government, in protest, saying just because someone wore jeans does not mean that they consented to sexual violence. And so we honor this day every last Wednesday in April. So this month it's going to be Wednesday, April 24th, I believe. So we ask everyone, wear jeans, deck out on your favorite jeans to really honor this day with us.
No, that's an important story. I haven't actually heard that before. So it becomes a kind of wardrobe protest against a classic example of victim blaming.
Yes.
Um, so can you tell us, this was our other topic it was the specific focus on victim blaming. Can you share some examples on other episodes of victim blaming that contribute to not taking sexual assault seriously?
Yeah, definitely. So not only are women, well, what were you asked, what were you wearing? And often victim blaming is experienced by folks who are female identified. We know anybody can experience sexual assault, men, boys, individuals who are non-binary. But a lot of women experience victim blaming, and people ask, what were you drinking? Well, were you flirting with them? Well, did you say no? How many times did you say no? Did you fight them? And how much makeup were you wearing? You were talking with them. It looked like you were really into the conversation. Are you sure you didn't want it? Did you want it on some level and maybe just weren't even sure? We hear so many things in this regard that really show women, hey, maybe this was your fault. Why were you out late at night? Why did you go to this party? Well, why did you trust this person to walk you home if you barely knew them? Why didn't you stick with your friends? I could go kind of on and on with these questions that people are asked that really reiterate the blame is with you and not the individual who has assaulted you. And just real quick, we know that I know many survivors wrestle with this idea that they didn't fight back. And when someone is sexually assaulted, some people may fight back or may scream no, but some people's neurobiological response could be freeze, where they literally can't say anything and they can't move. That could be the reason why they didn't fight back, not because they wanted it.
Right, just an instinctual self-preservation response, not to fight back. So you mentioned that this episode in Rome dates back to the early 90s. And I remember when I was in college in the late 90s and seeing these events on into the 2000s, there were a lot of events like Take Back the Night where women and their allies protested victim blaming, carving out a kind of argument that women ought to be able to go out at night and socialize safely. Or there's often some very strong, I think, valid pushback against the advice given to young women to prevent sexual assaults by, for example, drinking less or having a buddy system instead of teaching men not to assault women. I may be missing things, but it seems like a lot of that has moved over maybe onto social media rather than public spaces, public protests, public events like Denim Day. Is that fair?
I mean, we still have public events. I know that we're doing a Take Back the Night here actually next week in the area. So I know we are still having public spaces. There also are online spaces, like the Me Too movement was really popular online. People are sharing their story. But we do still have public spaces. I think it's a challenge post-COVID with even still getting people to come out, rally, protest, because the sad truth is it's still needed. I mean, we still talk to survivors today who feel like my friend even didn't believe me, right? And said this was just like a bad incident, not actually rape. So great question.
Well, what can individuals do in the sort of as bystanders or interrupters to stop victim blaming, to change attitudes? What can individuals do?
Yeah, I think know the facts. I think definitely RAIN is a wonderful website. Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network really has some great information, statistics, understanding how to debunk some of these myths when we think about victim blaming. That, this assumption that women or people frequently lie about sexual assaults. We know that false reports for sexual assault are the same for any other violent crime, 2 to 8%. Excuse me, which also includes recants. And many people recant, say, no, actually, I reported this, but it didn't happen, because going through this criminal justice system is exhausting, it's re-victimizing, really difficult. So I think gently calling people in, our friends and family, when we hear them say, well, look how she was acting. What did she expect? Or why is she wearing that? That's not okay. Really gently calling people in and saying, hey, like people should be able to wear what they want and not experience violence, right? And so gently, because we don't want to call people out. They might not change their attitudes. The goal is that, hey, like, did you know this about sexual assault? Did you know this? To help them understand the facts. People can't argue with facts, right?
Right. Like calling someone in gently, as you say, is better than
Mhm.
causing them to feel criticized and put up their guard and not listen to what you have to say. Well, I guess I understand the Bridge, your organization, the Bridge, has a few events happening this month aside from Denim Day. You mentioned
Mhm.
next week's Take Back the Night event. What
Mhm.
else is happening in April that you guys are involved in?
Yeah, so April 27th, it's a Saturday, our last Saturday in April. Here at the Bridge, we're hosting a Voices of Resilient survivor panel and community conversation in honor of Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So we're going to have a small group of survivors who are going to share their knowledge and information about what we can do as community members to support survivors, how we can prevent sexual assault, really look at primary prevention of sexual violence. And then also, this event is going to be from 10 to 12, and it's just a time for us to come together and talk in a small group about what we can all do to support survivors in our lives.
All right. Well, thank you, Jessica Bellant, Education and Prevention Director for the Bridge Over Troubled Waters. We'll have your information in our posts after the show, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you both. What important information to share with us. I also didn't know about Denim Day, but I will for sure be wearing jeans on Wednesday, April 24th. Yeah, that was incredible. All the stories and facts you shared, and we're gonna keep that with us as we move forward. Nick, we have some news, events, and announcements to get to. And we want to congratulate our new 911 dispatchers. Hats off to the new graduates of HCC's 911 Dispatch Academy as they prepare to provide vital support in crises. The students completed the 10-week training to become certified public safety communicators to fill a national shortage of 911 dispatchers, said Dwight Allen, director of HCC's Fire Technology Program. The graduation was held at the Missouri City campus with Southwest College president Dr. Madeline Barillo Hopkins attending. And there's more graduations to come.
Well, speaking of graduation, our HCC graduation ceremony has a graduation cover contest. The deadline is approaching, so students can showcase their design skills by creating a graduation ceremony cover for both spring and fall 2024. The two winners will get their artwork published on the program, and they're going to win a new iPad. Submissions are due this Friday, April 19th at 5 p.m. So learn more about the contest. Check our post after the show.
We have Sow and Grow, a seedling celebration for Earth Day. HCC Central Library Student Library Advisory Council is celebrating Earth Day with a special Sow and Grow event on campus. It will include guest speakers and a poster showcase from our vast Academy student winners and more. That's going to be from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Monday, April 22nd. We'll be at HC Central Campus, rooms 100 and 101. For more information, check the post after the show. And there's also a whole bunch of online exhibits happening.
Yeah, that's right. The online student exhibition features work from all HCC campuses in the Spatial.io virtual gallery. Awards are in art, drawing, graphic design, and digital media. The image shown is the 2023 Faculty Award winner called Do They Deserve It? With children playing in trash-littered waters. So you can view this link at spatial.io_gallery. The exhibition runs online from April 22nd through May 3rd. There will be an artist reception at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, May 8th at HCC Central's Reality Collab. I suppose that's a room. Free, no registration necessary. Check our post after the show for more information.
It is a room in the it's in the JB
Harmon
Whiteley building. Yeah, I always get those two confused.
Okay.
We'll also be offering citizenship courses Fridays and Saturdays. HCC is currently offering citizenship courses at 3 campuses for only $25. Individuals can take U.S. citizenship preparation classes 6 to 8 p.m. Fridays through June 14th. That's at the Eastside campus, 9 to 11 Saturdays through June 15th. Northline and Brays Oaks campuses for the Saturday classes. Check the post after the show for all the information.
All right, and I guess the last announcement, as always, is to encourage students out there to enroll. Summer enrollment is open. Fall enrollment is open. We've got classes in person. We've got classes online. We've got hybrid classes. We've got hybrid labs. Learn more about these programs, start dates, and options for covering your costs at hccs.edu/apply.
That's right. Get in there and get your summer and fall schedule set. Thanks for joining me today, Nick.
It was great. I'll see you next Monday.
Yep. We'll have the same fun, same time. So coming up for Tasty Tuesday, we'll welcome Brian Ching to talk about Pitch 25, his vision to be the premier beer park in Houston. But we know him as the Dynamo champion number 25, and his sports bar is near the Houston's downtown soccer stadium. And we'll feature HTX Art in the Heart, a family-led initiative helping underserved communities from a refurbished school bus. That caught the attention of international singer Kelly Clarkson. Be sure to tune in. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.